Today, I'm going to show you guys how to play the Sukamon deck and turn any of your opponent's Digimon into what we all like to call poop. Digimon fans, welcome back, and today we'll be showcasing the brand new first ever Sukamon deck. This archetype has an extremely interesting mechanic and main combo which can disrupt your opponent's Digimon and plays by turning them into a Sukamon via King Sukamon's effect. Even the strongest Digimon out there will not be able to handle all the poop that you throw at them. Despite it being one of the biggest meme decks of the format, it does have a very interesting way and method to win games. If you don't know what this deck does, then don't worry because I'll show you guys how it all works in the combo segment later on. But first, let's show you guys the build that I came up with. I'm also super excited to announce a new feature on my channel where I launched my very first ever YouTube membership called the Avault Club. By joining, you will have access to exclusive perks and contents that regular viewers don't have. Perks include the Avault Club membership badge, and the best part is that you'll be able to see members-only community posts featuring my first draft deck profiles even before the video comes out. You will see more updates by me for every deck profile released and even updated deck lists and adjustments with all the lists. Your comments and questions will also have priority replies from me. So what are you guys waiting for? Click on the join button right now. Thank you all so much for the support and I look forward to engaging with you guys. Alright, starting with Digi-Egg cards, we got the 4 copies of Pagumon from BT6. On deletion, revealing top card of your deck, add it to your hand if it's a black Digimon. Really good because this deck has a lot of on deletion level 4s, which is going to be having a lot of synergy, which is going to be really good and lots of value. So these are the 4 eggs I'll go with in this deck anyway. Okay, now let's talk about our rookies. First, we got the brand new Chumon from BT11. This one does cost 1 to Digivolve on top of level 2, which is kind of funky a little bit. I don't like it as much because of that, but otherwise it does have quite a lot of decent effects because your turn, when this Digimon would Digivolve into a card with Sukamon in its name, you get to reduce its Digivolution cost by 1. Quite a lot of value for that, honestly, and it has a inheritable of on deletion. If this Digimon has Sukamon or Etemon in its name, you get to play 1 Chumon from your trash suspended without paying its memory cost. So pretty good, honestly. Like I said, we do have a lot of on deletion related effects, so it does give you the value for sure. Then we got the other Chumon that we're bringing back. We definitely want to play the 4 copies of the BT3 memory blocker Chumon, which doesn't basically let your opponent gain any memory except for tamer effects. We want to maximize as many Chumon's names as possible in this deck as well, which is why we want to play the 4. Next, we got the 2 Chikurimons that basically stop players from reducing play costs. Basically the best counter against like cross-hard decks or anything such as Billstar as well related, and yeah. Then we got another 2 Chikurimons. This one's like the Security Bomb D-Digivolve from BT6, and yeah, just another good alternative, and you can kind of juggle between on how many Chikuris and which kinds of different Chikuris you want to play in your deck too. That's it for all the rookies. Let's move on to the level 4s, which we do have quite a handful of right here. First and foremost, let's talk about the brand new Sukamon from BT11. It digivolves for 2 on top of black or yellow Digimon, that is level 3. Now on deletion, you reveal the top 3 cards of your deck, adding 1 Chumon, Sukamon, or Etemon its name along them from your hand, and you trash the rest. Really good setup, really great searching generally, and you know the idea is try to basically use this guy and try to swing the security and have it deleted so you can proc all your on deletion effects. It then has a inheritable effect of all turns when this Digimon would be deleted. By deleting one of your other Digimon with Sukamon in its name, you get to prevent its deletion. So pretty good, decent protection with here. You want to be maximizing as many Sukamons as possible in this deck as well, which is why you want to play for the 4 copies of this. So do you know that we'll be getting even more brand new Sukamon support in the BT13 VS Royal Knights set in the future? I can already tell that many of you guys are super excited for that and just can't wait for it. So if you want to see the poo-poo deck make a comeback on the channel in the future, then be sure to hit that subscribe button right now. Turn on that notification bell to stay tuned. Also give this video a like while you're at it because it greatly helps and I really appreciate all the support. So thank you guys so much. But with that out of the way, let's return showing you guys what poo we got. Then we still have more Sukamons. We got the older Sukamon from BT3. Also having really good synergy because it has on deletion, revealing top 3 cards of your deck. You may play 1 Chumon among them without paying its memory cost, and then you place the remaining to the bottom back of your deck. And yeah, really good synergy, really good searching. floating capability, very nice as well. And then we have a brand new Garamon right here. This one is also treated as a Numamon in its name. However, Numamon doesn't really help much with this deck in particular, but on play, you get to trash one card with Numamon, Sukamon, or Nanimon, or Etemon in its name to draw 2 cards. Essentially, almost anything in your level 4 or lower lineup you can trash from your hand, and then you get to draw more, which is always going to be really good. You can trash Chumons though, so mainly you'll be trashing your Sukamons that you have, and yeah, it basically gives you the draw power, which you always want to be hard playing it most of the time. And then to round off, we have the 2 Nanimons right here. Just a really good security Digimon that comes out after battle, and then you get to play it without paying its memory cost, which is actually kind of crucial and really nice sometimes, because in clutch situations, you'll be able to have this come out from security, and then the next turn you can Digivolve it into level 5, and then you can start doing some of your combo plays, which is going to be very good. That's it for all of our level 4s. Let's talk about our level 5s. The brand new, I guess, sort of like main boss Digimon of the deck first. We have the 4 copies of the King Sukamon here. What King Sukamon does is normally you Digivolve for 4 on top of a yellow or black, which is costing a lot, but you get to Digivolve for 3 on top of a Sukamon in its name instead. Now on play or / when Digivolving, if your opponent has 16 or more cards in their trash, or if you have 3 or more Sukamons in their names in your trash, you can change one of your opponent's Digimon into a white Digimon with 3000 DP, and its original name becomes a Sukamon until the end of your opponent's turn. This is really crucial, really good effect, because it combos along with all your other cards and your Sukamons and the protections, which I'll showcase you guys later in a combo segment later on. His second effect is when attacking, for each other Digimon with Sukamon in its name, this Digimon gains security +1. Kind of nice, but he only has 6000 DP, so I think he's kind of relatively weak, and it's just kind of hard to pull it off sometimes and have it survive in security battle, which is very susceptible for him to be deleted, which you don't want it to happen. But otherwise, he also has a inheritable of all turns when this Digimon would be deleted. By deleting one of your other Digimon with Sukamon in its name, prevent that deletion. So exact same inheritable as the Sukamon, which we showcased earlier from the BT11 one as well. But yeah, this is definitely a really good card that you want to have for sure. The other 4 copies of the level 5s, you definitely want to run the new Etemon as well. Exactly like King Sukamon, you Digivolve for 4 on top of a yellow or black regular Digimon. Otherwise, you can Digivolve for 3 on top of a Sukamon. Now, also when Digivolving or on play, by trashing one card with Sukamon in its name from your hand, or in this Digivolution cards, until end of your opponent's turn, one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 3000 DP and gains security -1. So a good defensive card, a little bit here and there, but otherwise you mainly want to go into King Sukamon anyways, when you so you can counterattack and sort of like control the board from there. Otherwise, he also has a inheritable. All turns when this Digimon would be deleted, you can delete one of your Sukamons to prevent the deletion. So exactly like King Sukamon with the protection right here. This is the other go-to level 5. That's it for the level 5s. Let's talk about the level 6s. We do have the brand new 4 copies of MetalEtemon here. MetalEtemon is just really good because on play or when Digivolving, you reveal the top 4 cards of your deck. You get to play any number of Digimon cards with Chumon, Sukamon, or Etemon in their names with a total play cost up to 7 or less, and then you get to trash the rest. This is really good because then you can start playing your level 5s potentially even, because all of them are going to be like 7 costs or less, and you can actually use their on-play effects, which is going to be really helpful. Otherwise, and then Etemon is costing 3 to Digivolve on top of level 5, but afterwards, it doesn't do too much on the board, because once it has achieved its goal of being on-play or when Digivolve, is basically a vanilla beater that's 11k in the deck. And that is also why I decided to opt in for 2 copies of Venusmon. I feel like the Sukamon deck is a little bit slow and does have some control aspects, and I think Venusmon is actually a very good suitable secondary level 6 for the deck as well, because she can provide a security -1 across all your opponent's Digimon across the board. It's also a blanket effect. It can help you buy you some time as well, and buying that extra turn, buying that extra time for you. You can actually make some more combos in the next turn to clap back at your opponent too, and I think she just works out very nicely. But that's just my personal opinion, so that's my other secondary level 6. That's it for level 6s. Let's talk about our level 7s. I played the 2 copies of Zwart Defeat here. Like I mentioned earlier, MetalEtemon doesn't do much after he comes out when Digivolving or when he's unplayed. That's why I like Zord Defeat, because you can actually potentially Digivolve it into the Zord Defeat for 3 costs, take out a Tamer, and also its security effect is always very nice because it can just come out for free, and having a free body level 7 like that on the board is definitely value for you for sure. And then last but not least, I do also play one regular Zord. Same concept as Zord Defeat, Digivolving it on top of Etemon, and then you can actually go wide. You can establish a lot of pressure with this card, which is really nice. I used to play 2 copies of this one, but I realized I don't really need it as often because after all, 6 costs to Digivolve is quite hefty, quite a lot, and Zord does sometimes help in nice clutch situations, but I don't feel like I always need it, which is why the one-off tech just works out very nicely for me. And yeah, you know, Zord is just super strong as well because when attacking, you can return the lowest 6 card in its sources back to the owner's hand to delete one of your opponent's Digimon that is unsuspended with play cost 12 or less. Just really good card. But yeah, going wide and bringing out more Digimon from your trash is really what he's there for. That's it for all of our Digimon. Let's talk about Tamers. We got 2 Izzies right here. Really good memory tamer essentially, really good for security as well because it's kind of like a pseudo hammer spark. You guys know it all. It also has good synergy with the deck because you get to reveal the top 3 cards of your deck and you get to sort of like cycle through, and you can kind of plan ahead sometimes with the Sukamon on deletions, which can be kind of helpful, and yeah, definitely nice as the memory tamer too. Then we've got 2 Makis. I think Maki is just really good. Unfortunately, we don't play any Tapermons to sort of like maximize its value, but otherwise you can grab a 2-color black Digimon card when you do play this card by revealing the top 3 cards of your deck. And mainly, it helps you reduce the Digivolution costs going into your King Sukamon, going into your Etemon, or even going into your general Sukamon either as well, which is going to be really good. And by doing so, you can turbo into them much more faster with Maki. So yeah, definitely like this card in the deck too. That's it for all the Tamers. To round off all, we have the 3 copies of Pride Memory Boost. Pride Memory Boost is just super good in this deck because there's so many Digimon cards that you play have low cost that is basically 4 or less. All your most level 4s are essentially 4 costs or less or 3 costs. So you can play it with Pride Memory Boost. You get lots of value with this card. And trashing synergizes very nicely, so you can set up more Sukamons in your trash for your King Sukamon combo as well. Delay, as we all know, gaining 2 memory so you can pop off and do more combos is always fantastic. That's it for the 50 card main deck. Let's talk about other cards that you can actually add into the build and sort of like change it up a little bit and sort of other cool cards. First and foremost, I have MetalEtemon right here. MetalEtemon is actually really good as like a meta counter, especially against like cross-hard decks or any decks that sort of like kind of rookie rush you. Definitely a good defensive card because Sukamon is a little bit slow, takes some time to sort of set up sometimes, and having the MetalEtemon can help you give your defenses so you don't lose too much security against those rookies, especially cross-hard decks as well. Next, we have the older Etemon that I want to talk about. We have the old Etemon and the old MetalEtemon from BT3. This could be a really nice package for you to switch up your top end and your level 5s a little bit if you have a completely different approach. The first Etemon right here has blocker, but also on deletion, revealing the top 5 cards of your deck. You can play 1 level 6 Digimon card with Etemon in its name for free. So instead of playing Venusmon, you guys can play this MetalEtemon instead to really set up the NRG to cycle into your MetalEtemons more likely with the combination of this Etemon, and then it has a lot of synergy with the current Etemon as well because it's not just when Digivolving, it also has an on-play effect so that you can continue to play more stuff, which is actually pretty interesting and really cool. And otherwise, then this MetalEtemon is also pretty decent because it can't be blocked by your opponent's Digimon, but also very funny during your opponent's turn. It gets extra 2000 DP. Not as good as the new MetalEtemon, but definitely a considerable add simply because just to amp up your MetalEtemon names to increase the likeliness and the probability of you hitting via this guy's effect right here. Another really cool card you can add in is Omnimon Merciful Mode instead of either Zord or Zord Defeat. This can Digivolve on top of a yellow for 6 cost, very similar to Zord where it pays a lot, but otherwise it can give you a lot of value because when Digivolving, for each mega you have in its trades, you get to delete one of your opponent's Digimon, place 10 cards from the trash back to the bottom of the deck, and then also even like start of your turn by sending this to your trash, you can trash your opponent's security. Pretty decent card, pretty good in certain matchups as well that you can definitely add in for sure. As the other memory tamer, you can definitely play Tai from BT2. This one's very interesting because it will give you a bit more DP during your opponent's turn, which is kind of interesting, and sometimes your opponents might forget about it and they, you know, don't play around it and realize that you had actually more DP than they thought, which is kind of interesting. Pretty funny, but otherwise I like Izzy more just for searching consistency and setup consistency, really. Last but not least, of course, there is the Cootie's Kick right here. Cootie's Kick is actually a pretty decent card, pretty nice card as well, because it gives you a lot of value just for the cost of 1. Because as long as you have a black tamer, you get to reduce the cost by 1, so making it a 1 cost option. And then one of your Digimon with Numemon, Sukamon, Nanimon, or Etemon in its name can't be blocked, but also has on deletion, gaining 3 memory. So that you can actually continue longer with your combos and continue your turn and play more cards, which is actually pretty neat, really. It also has a really good security effect because on security, you reveal top 3 cards of your deck. You can play 1 black Digimon card with 3 costs or less among them without paying the memory cost, and then you trash the rest. So yeah, you get to flood your board very quickly with this card. Pretty nice as well. So a decent consideration. Alright, that's for all the cards I wanted to talk about. Let's showcase you guys the combos and sort of the how to play guide of this deck, which is kind of interesting and kind of unusual, which makes it kind of fun. Of course, you would hatch your Digi-Egg, and if you're starting first, you can just Digivolve into the Chumon, the new one, and just pass your opponent to 1 memory and choke them. Don't know how I feel about that, but you can do that, which is not bad, and your opponent passes back to you to 1. You can just move it up, and then you can Digivolve it into any of your Sukamons for a reduced cost of 1, effectively making just a 1 cost into either Sukamons. Any of these Sukamons are really good because they give you on deletion, and all you have to do is, let's just say you go into this one right here, so that would be costing 1, and you just start swinging immediately because you want to utilize their on deletion effects of all of these. On deletion right here, revealing the top 3, you get to add 1 Chumon or whatever to your hand. So kind of like searching, this one on deletion, you can play a Chumon from your trash suspended without paying its memory cost. You can actually even play this one. Otherwise, you can even play like the memory blocker one if you have it like earlier on, which is not too bad as well. Keeping your Chumons afloat on the board is definitely really nice, and resolving the Pagumon to add more cards. And that's really how you want to be doing it. Of course, other cards you want to be playing is definitely your Pride Memory Boost. Sometimes, don't be afraid to hard play these Sukamons as well, because they only cost 3 memory. They're very memory efficient, which is really, really nice. So if your opponent ever puts you to 2, and you can just pass them back down to 1 and play these guys. Of course, at the same time, playing the Garurumon to draw more cards, trash, and you really ideally want to set yourself up for 3 Sukamons in your trash for your later combos, for sure. Now, moving on next, if your opponent has like a Digimon on board, which becomes a little bit like difficult to answer, this is when you start going into your level 5 combos moving on. It's kind of like a bonus. You kind of need to identify the situation. Now, the only downside is having the Garurumon doesn't work very well with King Suka or Eda because you can't reduce the Digivolution cost. They have to be like for 4. But if you had a Sukamon here on the board, then that's nice, because if you had like, again, 2 memory or 3 memory to work with, you can Digivolve into your King Sukamon for 3, and then basically choose your opponent's important Digimon and turn it into a white Sukamon. And it makes a huge difference, because when you do, that Digimon becomes like useless for them until their end of their next turn. They can't Digivolve it into something else because it turns into white. It probably disrupts their play greatly. And if you have an opportunity, you can even Digivolve it into Etemon to reduce its DP by 3,000 as well, so that it potentially gets deleted, which is also really cool combos that you can do there. Otherwise, if you have the Sukamon right here, you can actually just go in and swing aggressively with this King Sukamon, and if you have more Sukamons on the board, it will gain the more security +1s, which is going to be really great. Now, if this King Sukamon is in threat, because it's inheritable of the Sukamon and the King Sukamon as well, is when this Digimon would be deleted by deleting one other Digimon with Sukamon in its name. It doesn't say it have to be yours or whatever. The combo is that it really tries to utilize your opponent's Sukamon so you can delete theirs, which is really, really cool. And yeah, by doing so, you can do multiple checks with the King Sukamon, which works out nicely. And that's really like all there is when it comes to the level 5 combo part. Otherwise, then eventually you bridge off into your MetalEtemon right here, passing you to your opponent, whatever, and you basically play more stuff, which is going to be really good. And then once MetalEtemon has done its job, like I mentioned, for further pressure, you can build into his Word Defeat or Omni's Ward there on the board too, which is going to be very, very helpful. So really, the whole idea is it's almost like a rookie rush strategy, because you play a lot of these small guys all the time, so you just want to chip away into your opponent's security as much as possible and utilize the on deletion effects, gather more cards, gather your pieces, and then once again, like I said, just a quick recap. In the right time, you play your King Sukamons, you play your Etemons, you digivolve them, and then you utilize their effects, and then you go into your MetalEtemon and then your top end to sort of finish off. So that's a really interesting way to play the deck right there. Very gimmicky, very cheesy, but yeah, super fun for sure. That'll wrap up for the deck profile today. If you guys enjoyed the video and found it helpful, please give it a like. If you have any suggestions, recommendations, or questions, be sure to share it with everyone in the comment section down below. We got lots more Digimon videos and content and deck profiles for the BT11 format coming, so be sure to hit that subscribe button right now, turn on that notification bell to stay tuned. As always, thank you so much for watching. You guys have a great day, great night, wherever you are. See you in the next video, and this is Avault, signing out.